How are you, girls? Okay, I hope that you are all fine. Thank you. Good afternoon, all. I'm fine. Thank you, girls. Thank you all. So, girls, today we will start a new lesson, absolute value. Okay, so open your book on page 165. How can you find and interpret the absolute value of rational numbers? This lesson is very important actually, because you will use this the absolute value always on mathematics. Okay, so focus with me, please. How can you find and interpret the absolute value of rational numbers? Let's start. What is the absolute value? I want to understand and know what is the absolute value. The absolute value, or as it named in the mathematics, it named magnitude of a number, the magnitude of a number, or the absolute value of a number. The absolute value is the number's distance from zero. Okay? The absolute value is the number's distance from zero. I want you to focus on this. Okay? The absolute value is the number's distance from zero on the number line. Okay? So the absolute value is a distance. And you know, in science, you take distance before in science, right? You took distance, I think, in science. And you know that distance always will be what? Will be positive number. There is any distance negative? No. So if I have as a rational number this number, negative 3, what is the absolute value of negative 3? You know, the absolute value is the number's distance from zero. That means the absolute value is the distance between the number on the number line and the 0 point. This is the absolute value. What is the distance between 0 and the place or the point that represent negative 3 on the number line? What is the distance? You have to count it. You have to count it. 1, 2, 3 units as written here. 3 units. That means the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. 3 units. Now, what is the absolute value of 3? What is the absolute value of 3 as an example? Again, the absolute value of 3. This is the place for 3 number. The absolute value will be the distance between the number, the point that represent the number, and the 0 point. The distance between 3 and the 0 point. Now count. What is the distance? 1, 2, or 3 units. 3 units. All the time, the distance will be, or the absolute value will be the distance between the number and the 0 point all the time. So this is here also 3 units. That's mean the absolute value of 3, again, also it will be 3. So the absolute value of negative 3 is written as like this. How I will write the absolute value? There is a sample represent the absolute value. I have to draw those. Okay, I have to draw those small lines, small vertical lines, like this. I have to draw small vertical lines. Okay? Like this. And put the number between those numbers. That's mean it will be negative 3. What is the absolute value of negative 3? The answer will be what? 3 units. That's mean it will be 3. Okay, I will repeat again. The absolute value is a number. This number represents the distance from 0. The distance between the number and 0 on number line. Absolute value is a number. Represent the distance between the 0 point and the number. The 0 point and the number. Absolute value is a number. Represent the distance between 0 and the number on the number line. You know that rational number consists of positive numbers and negative numbers. That means I have to locate the number on the number line according to the sign for this number. If the number is negative, like negative 3, I have to put the number on the right side. Here on the left side, sorry, in the negative side. That means this is negative 3. What is the absolute value of negative 3? I want the absolute value of negative 3. I told you the symbol that represent the absolute value is those two small lines, the vertical lines, those small vertical lines. Okay? And put the number between those. That means this is the absolute value of negative 3 equals what? From the definition here, absolute value is the distance from 0. That means what is negative 3? This is negative 3 on the number line. I want the distance between this point and 0 point. What is the distance between this point and 0 point? I have to count the units, those small parts. 1, 2, 3. That means the distance between this number and 0 point is 3. Okay? This is the absolute value of negative 3. What about if I have positive 3? Positive 3 will be on the right side. This is the point that represents positive 3 on the number line. The absolute value of 3. That means I have to take 3 and put it between those small lines. Equals what? The absolute value of 3 is the distance between the point that represents the number. This is the point. And 0. This is the distance. This is the absolute value. Let's count to know the absolute value. 1, 2, 3. 3 units. All the time will be in this strategy. So again, the absolute value of 3, it will be 3. Okay? Now you understand it, girls? So, the absolute value is the distance between the number and 0 on the number line. Okay? So, you know the distance always will be a positive number. There is no negative distance. That means if I told you the distance between those 2 points, I think you took it on the science. The distance between 2 points. The distance between 2 points, as an example, 4 kilometers. Okay? as an example, the distance between 2 points, 4 kilometers or 4 meters. Can I say that there is a distance -4? No, that is incorrect. That means all the time the distance, this value will be a positive value. There is no negative distance. Like the weight also. There is any positive weight? No. The weight, the distance, those values all the time will be positive. That means the absolute value all the time will be positive number. Okay? There is no negative absolute value. Why? Because the absolute value for negative numbers will be positive, and for positive number will be positive. Because the absolute value is a distance between the 0 and the number. So the distance always will be positive. That's why the absolute value will be always positive. Now let's take a look at this example. In this, on page 65. On page 165, I have this vertical number line. Vertical number line. I want the absolute value of -30, -32. First thing, to find the absolute value, I have to locate the number on the number line. First thing, I have to locate the number on the number line. This is 32, of course. So this is the vertical number line. The vertical number line has the positive numbers on or the negative numbers down will be. So what is -32? It will be between -30 and -40. It will be here. This is -32. Down. Now, the absolute value of -32. The absolute value of -32. Look, I have to write it in this way. Put the number with a sign and put those two lines around the number. Okay? Now, what is where is the absolute value of this number? From the definition, you have to save the definition, please. You have to save the definition. The absolute value is the distance between the number and the 0 on the number line. That means I have to measure here the distance between, what is the point that represents -32? This is the point, this here. And what is 0? This is 0. The distance between this 0 and the point. The distance between the 0 and the point. This is the absolute value. The distance between the 0 and the point is what? I have to count it. Here, 10, 20, 30, and 32. So it will be 32 units. So it will be the same number. The same number without the negative sign. Yes, of course. All the time, girls, the absolute value, some girls said, teacher, it's 7, it's 6. No, the absolute value will be the same number. Don't change the numbers, but I will change only the sign. If the number is negative, of course, the absolute value will be a positive number. If the number is positive, that means the absolute value will be the same number and positive. Okay, yes, Farah, I see. But I'm not talking about you. Okay, now let's see the next question. No, not the opposite. Lamar, not the opposite. Please, you have to make a difference now between the opposite and the absolute value. The opposite means I will change and opposite the number. No, and now the absolute value, no, the absolute value will be always positive number. All the time will be positive. There is no absolute value negative, okay? Because the absolute value is a distance, and there is no negative distance. The distance always will be positive. Now let's see this example on page 166. Okay, I will erase those. I think you write the answers. Okay, look, grab the weight, change on the number line, then find their absolute value. I want the absolute value for those numbers. The first one is, I think, is -5/8. -5/8, it will be between 0 and 1. 5/8, it will be, I think, if you divide the number line between 0 and -1, of course it will be on the left side, because the number is negative. So so it will be on the left side because the number is negative. That means it will be between 0 and -1. It will be here. Try to divide. This is -5/8. What is the distance between 0 and -5/8? Yes, Farah, open your mic and answer me. Farah? Yes. What is the absolute value of -5/8?
5/8.
Very good, Farah. So the absolute value of the number, it will be the same number without the negative sign, with the positive, okay? Now, what about 1 or negative? Sorry, this is negative. I think this is written wrong. Okay, this is the -1 and 7/16. What is the absolute value of this number? This number, it will be after 1, as an example right here. -1 and 7/16. Okay, it will be between 0. The absolute value will be the distance between 0 and this number. This is the absolute value. Yes, Lena, open your mic and tell me, what is the absolute value of -1 and 7/16? Excellent, Lena. Thank you so much. So the same number without the sign. What about 2 and 1/8? 2 and 1/8 is a number, positive number. Positive number on the right side. It will be between 2 and 3, as an example here. This is 2 and 1/8. It will be the absolute value, it will be between this point, the distance between this point and the 0 point. Who is being late? Asfa, why you are being late? This is a very important lesson. Please, girls, if you're being late, please return to the platform and watch the video again. Okay, yes, Lamar, open your mic and tell me, what is the absolute value of 2 and 1/8? Yes, what is the absolute value of 2 and 1/8? Okay, I want you to think about it. The absolute value of the positive number is the distance between the point and this point and the 0 point. That means if you count the distance, it will be the same number, 2 and 1/8. It's not opposite, girls. It's not opposite. The same number, the negative will be positive and the positive will be positive. Always. Okay, Lamar? Okay. Girls, please, I want you to focus on this. Absolute value is not the opposite number. Okay, it's not the opposite. absolute value is the distance between the point that represent the number and the 0 point. Now, what about negative 3 over 8? What is the absolute value of this number? Yes, Tolene, open your mic, dear. Negative 3 over 8, it will be between 0 and negative 1 right here. As an example, this is a negative. Yes.
It will be 3 over 8 without negative.
Very good, Tolene. Thank you so much. So it will be the same number. Thank you, Tolene. So it will be the same number without the negative. So you have a strategy you have to follow it, girls. The negative will be positive, and the positive will stay positive. Okay? This is the strategy. Always the absolute value will be positive number. There is no negative in absolute value. Now, girls, what about number, I think, you finished this example, isn't it? Girls, if you finish, please type 1 in the chat. If you finish, please type 1 in the chat. Okay, just write the answers. Now let's move to find this example. Okay, Asma, you are late, I think. That's why you didn't finish. Try to write those quickly, please. Try to write those quickly. Okay, now I find all integers with an absolute value of 7. Okay, now I want the numbers. Look, I have the absolute value. I have the absolute value, and he told me that the absolute value is 7. What is the numbers that the absolute value for those numbers equals 7? Who will tell me on the chat? What is the numbers on number line? The absolute value of those numbers will be 7. Who will tell me? Lena said -7. That's correct. Another one. I have only -7. Only -7. The absolute value for this number is 7. Look, girls, you know that the absolute value is 7. Very good, Lena. That's correct. You know, girls, the absolute value is a distance between 0 and the number. So which numbers, the distance between those numbers and 0 equals 7? Look at -7 and 7. Those symmetrical number. So those numbers, look, the distance between 0 and -7. I want to count the distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the distance is 7 units. All again, and the distance between 0 and 7 on the number line. Number 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All again, and 7 units. So both numbers, -7 and 7, the absolute value for those numbers is 7. So look, both numbers, the symmetrical numbers, girls, the symmetrical numbers on number line have the same absolute value. That's mean 1 and -1. The absolute value for 1 and -1 is 1. The absolute value, as an example, for 3 and -3 is 3. The absolute value for 6 and -6 is 6. The absolute value for 10 and -10 is 10. So the absolute value for the symmetrical number are the same number but in the positive sign. Okay, this is the main idea of the absolute value. Okay, so both numbers 7 and negative 7 have an absolute value of 7. Okay, girls? If you finish, please type 1 in the chat. Okay, if all of you finished, girls? All of you finished? Okay, so let's move to page 167. Okay, we will solve number 1. Graph negative 2 on the number line, and I want to find the absolute value of 2. Yes, yes, Joanna. Okay, I want to graph negative 2. Negative 2 is a negative number. It will be on the left side of 0. This is negative 2. Okay, if you want to graph it on the number line. Yes, Joanna, what is the absolute value of negative 2? Okay, raise your voice, please. 2. Very good. Very good, Joanna. It's 2. The same number with the positive number. So negative 2 is 2 units from 0. Look, 1, 2, 2 units. This one and this one. Okay. So the positive or the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. Now what about, okay, what is the absolute value of 6? Jana, open your mic. The absolute value of 6. Jana?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, what is the absolute value of 6?
6.
Very good. 6. The same number. The absolute value of the positive number is the same number. Now another Jana Muhammad, what is the absolute value of negative 5?
It's 5.
Very good. It's 5. Thank you so much. The absolute value of negative number is the same number in positive. What is the absolute value, Salma, of negative 11?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, what is the absolute value of negative 11?
Negative 11, the absolute number is 11.
Very good. 11. The same number in the negative. Thank you, Salma. Okay, guys, when you finish, please type 1 in the chat. Okay, all of you finished. Girls, I think the page, we will continue the page 167 tomorrow, because we didn't finish the lesson. We will finish it tomorrow. I think we have 4 minutes in our session. I want to try something with you. You know that on very good, Tolene. You know that you have a competition on Thursday. So I want to try with you something now. Just I want you to enter the site that competition will be about, or in this site. Okay. So I want you to enter with your names, full name. Don't write the nickname. Write full name, and just like a test for you to feel comfortable on Thursday. Okay. Just I want you to, now I will send the link for you. Just 1 minute.